Hey y'all, so today I'm going to be making some Mexican cookies. These are called Mexican wedding cookie. I got my powdered sugar, my regular sugar. I want to make a few to fill my dish right here, so let's get started. I'm going to use about a cup of flour and a few of the other ingredients. I never made a cookie like this, so what I'm going to start by is taking my melted butter. This is about a half a stick of the Imperial. This is margarine, and then I'm going to take some butter. I have margarine and I also have butter. You can use whatever type you like. I'm using this one, so that's Imperial. And then this, you're supposed to make sure it's room temperature, so just so you can mash it. And then just to make sure it's mashed enough, what I'm going to do, I preheated the oven already. I'm going to take my canola oil and I'm going to make sure that my dish is a little bit filled with oil so that the cookies will not stick. These are going to be cookies that are in the shape of a ball. Let me know in the comments if this is something that you would try, if this is something that you've made before. So with baking, it's hard. This recipe would make 40 cookies. I only want to make about 20, so I'm halving the recipe. It calls for about 2 cups of the 2 sticks of the butter. I'm just going to use 1 stick. So the recipe calls for a whole teaspoon. I'm just going to use just a little bit of my almond extract. You know, almond is my favorite. This is the one I'm using, and I'm going to use just a little bit of the vanilla. Okay, just a little. I'm not going to use a whole teaspoon. And the reason is because I'm only making half of this recipe, right? That's what I told you. So from there, I'm going to start putting the cinnamon. You can go based off how much you like. Cinnamon and salt. This is pink salt. It calls for sea salt. This is rock. It's not like a rock salt. So I'll contrast the flavors right there. Add a little bit of cinnamon. Add a little more. And I'm going to mix it up. It also calls for a little bit of baking soda, but I'll do that. Kind of mix it up while it's all the wet ingredients. And I'm going to add my sugar right now. I'm going to be using the white sugar. I'm also going to be using powdered sugar. I'm not going to measure my sugar. I'm just going to add. That's enough because I'm making a few cookies and I'm going to be using a half a cup of flour. So butter and sugar, cream that together. So I love this part of baking, creaming together the butter. And I didn't want the butter to be melted. I just want it to be room temperature. So as I'm working on this, I'll show you guys the next step. Thank you. And this is how it'll just mix in, trying to get that all mixed in. You can also use a melted butter if you want to, kind of like a browned butter, but I don't want that. So mix it in real good so all the flavors can come together. Thank you. So since I added my sugar, I added my cinnamon, as you know, I'm going to take this 1/2 cup and I'm going to nicely kind of add the flour. I don't want to level it off. I want to add little by little, and then I'm going to add a little baking soda, and then the cookies are done. You can go and add more sugar if you feel that it needs it, but these cookies are going to be covered in powdered sugar. So I'm going to add a little flour, little by little. So you just add your flour right into the mix, and then I don't think that these cookies require an egg. So thank you, little by little. As I put the last of my flour in here, I love the consistency that it's making here. I put a little bit of baking soda, as you can see, probably like 1/4 of a teaspoon, not too much, so I'm proud of that. I'm going to go ahead and look at the recipe again, but I think that it's coming together well. These are looking like cookies to me. I just added the flour in at the last minute, and I'm going to continue to mix this up nicely. Make sure that the flour, if this dough seems a little bit more on the softer side, you can add a little more flour if you want to, if it's not rolling up in a way that you think it should to form into cookies. I think I can make probably like a good 10 cookies. You can also freeze this. I think I want to add just a little bit more flour, and then I'm good. And I'm gonna let you guys know how they bake in the oven. These cookies bake for probably like 15 minutes or so. So because I didn't use a lot of flour, I might have to, you know, go in and correct certain areas where I might need flour. So not a problem at all. I think I used enough sugar. This is the dish right here that I will be using. It has a little bit of butter in it mixed with a little bit of the oil so that it won't stick. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys when they're ready to put in the oven. Bye. This is the consistency after adding a little bit more flour. Just make sure that the flour is mixed into here. What I'm gonna do from now is just leave them like this. It seems like it has a nice dough, you know, consistency to it. If I touch it, feels great. But I'm going to put this in the freezer just so it can chill a little bit, and I'm going to make 10 to 15 balls if I can. These cookies are in the shape of a ball. I'm going to cook them for 15 minutes and put powdered sugar over them. So let me chill this for 15 minutes. Here's my dough after it's been freezing for 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little powdered sugar in there, and as it gets back to room temperature, so I'm going to put a little powdered sugar in here, and as it gets back to room temperature, mix that in. And then on the outside of this, I'm going to mix in more powdered sugar. So the powdered sugar goes in the mix, and it also goes outside as well after you're done baking them. So I'm excited about this because I've never done nothing like this before, and thank you so much. Hope that you have liked the video. Yeah, you basically just mix it around, and the powdered sugar kind of, you know, goes in with the dough. So excited to make something like this. Yeah, just every piece touches a little powdered sugar. So it reminds me of a apple butter, a cinnamon butter. So here is the batter. I added a little bit of milk because it was a little bit on the dry side. I am taking it after putting the powdered sugar. I'm taking a little bit of the batter, forming them. So from here, you just form them. I don't know if you can freeze this, but I'm pretty sure you can add chocolate chips if you want to. But the recipe I used, they didn't add chocolate chips. So I'm just adding little by little. And this dish right here, you can make them a little bit bigger or a little smaller. I want them to be perfectly bite-sized, so I'm just like kind of throwing this on here. And here are the cookies. I'm going to bake these cookies for 15 minutes, and when they're done, I'm going to dust them with powdered sugar. These are also called pulveres. The packaged up one, and here's the ones that's not packaged and with the vanilla frosting. Thank you. Bye.